The Japanese
Yeah, I saw this. Some fucking dude got smacked the fuck up by some random guy from like that's non-Japanese. Hold on, let's see what he has to say. Let me speed up a little bit. All right, it's good.
so quickly losing their country, but when they speak out against it, they get attacked by exactly that. As in Saitama City, Japan, their elected leader marched against a foreign festival for allegedly having ties to terror, and even though he was surrounded with police protection, somebody had
They
no
still
problem
smacked the fuck
walking
out
up
of him.
and smacking him.
Bop. I wasn't really that much of a smack, but I get what you mean.
And as another masked non-Japanese man tried to steal the camera, another angle shows the police getting splashed with an unknown substance. As their group had no issue shoving police, as apparently he was with the guy that hit the city councilor. Why even supply law enforcement if all they're gonna do is provide a barrier for them to hide behind and basically refuse to make any arrests? As the internet's explanation goes into the tensions between the Japanese nationalists and foreigners for potentially having ties to a group.
It says they're from Kurdish related events. I heard there's a huge Kurdish population right now in Japan. And is that the case? Are they causing anybody who's from Japan or knows anything about Japan, like visited the place and stuff like that? Are there a lot of issues with Kurdish people? Let me know if that's the case.
Their home country had designated as terror. But when you look at the Japanese articles, that roughly translate to admitting the assault occurred, with the authorities refusing to release information on the investigation, but concluding the article on how this was a Kurdish festival, where they put on national costumes, held hands, and danced to folk music. Why the hell were they compelled to include any of that, as if anybody seeking the article on the attack needed to know the peaceful aspects of the gathering, not the several assaults that occurred, both on their elected leader and the police, which just lets us know Japan is suffering from the same liberal nonsense we are in the US.
Everyone always tells me that it's just a lunchbox and that it's not that deep. But it is, and I'm going to take you down with me, because the bento box is also a symbol of Japanese empire. Patriarchy in any country is always going to be closely linked to nationalism, because women quite
Oh my God.
make humans and are socializing them for the next generation of.
Now they think that the bento box is misogyny now. Man, these Gen Z bitches have nothing better to do, bro. I swear.
Laborers, but it is also a direct correlation with how much you love your country, because those lunchboxes are not only
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with loving your country.
beautiful, but they're also really well thought out in terms of nutrition. So there's this spirit of wanting to raise these really strong and healthy citizens for the nation. I always get the ick because it just reeks of nationalism. Whether it's a
Okay, so go. What do you want to do then? Go eat some fast food or some food that'll fuck you over? Like, well, what the fuck is she implying? This looks delicious, healthy, nutritional, and delicious. What the hell's wrong with that? That this implies what? That this is some misogynistic, nationalistic bullshit. Like, bitch, if you don't like it, get the fuck out. Like, seriously. Like, what? I never understood these fucking foreigners or outsiders or gaijin or kokujin, however the Japanese call it, or they go into their country and they start dictating what they should do in their own land. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you? Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, seriously, if you don't like what we do here, if you don't like our land, our customs, our culture, the people, us Northeast Asian people, Yamato Damashi, I think it was something like similar to that, then get the fuck on. Go somewhere else. But we all know they're not gonna do that. And we all know that you talking about it will probably just keep throwing that racist, calling you a racist and shit like that. But how? How is that racist? No one's saying that you're inferior to anybody.
conscious or not, I think so for someone like me who teaches gender in Japan, it's really, really difficult for me to come in and say, hey, that's actually oppression.
Nonsense like this just reminds us that being recreationally offended is no longer exclusive to America, as nobody actually struggling in life or is providing something useful to society has the time or even the drive to figure out how lunch is oppressing us. But the scary part is, it's like they all deploy the same playbook on how to destroy a country from within. As of 4 days after the original attack, there have been no public arrests, sparking anger amongst the country, with even this random Japanese YouTube video explaining with oddly AI translated speech.
The two main people who attacked the group in the defensive terrain could have been arrested on the spot. Saitama Prefecture confirmed that the organizer, the Japan Kurdish Cultural Association, had been designated by the Turkish government as a terrorist support group related to the PKK, and gave permission for the performance on the condition that the flags of political organizations would not be displayed in advance. But what actually happened? Items such as badges that were thought to be related to the PKK were being sold at the event. It has also been confirmed that some people were walking around wearing the flags of combat units. Furthermore, the violence and attacks on the police by Kawamoto were unforgivable. When asked why they arrest people and why they don't arrest them, the police officers honestly said that they can't finish them off because they come in groups. As you can see from the video, when trouble occurs, they all gather together like this, and they intimidate you.
It's insane to think the local PD can be overwhelmed by such a small, aggressive group, to the point that neither their politicians nor their police are safe. But sadly, we've seen the same exact scenario play out in basically every single country that's asked to provide mass sanctuary, as high trust societies will always find their soft on crime approaches pathetically ineffective against those who don't respect their culture. I just think of that Takashi from Japan channel, illustrating how
I know this guy too. I definitely watched this guy as well.
can be great when paired with assimilation.
Then you will never be Japanese. Doesn't matter how much, Japanese you speak or if you get naturalized as a citizen, it doesn't matter. But, I appreciate Japan. They tend to...
That's the attitude that I have as well. I mean, look at me. I'm a foreigner. All right. I have, you could obviously tell if I go to Japan, I am not one of them. I am not a Yamatojin. If you know what a Yamatojin is, basically the people, the ethnic group of Japanese. They're like 98% of the population. I'm not that. There's no way in hell I could be, like that guy mentioned, I could learn Japanese, romanji, kanji, katakana, the whole work, mannerisms. I have it down path. I will always be seen as a foreigner, because I don't look Japanese. I'm not of Northeast Asian descent. And you know what? That's fucking okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I could still have an appreciation and they could still show me respect, just like I could show them respect as well. There's no reason for me to go over there and force myself to say, no, I'm Japanese. I don't give a fuck what you think. Look at me. I don't care what I look like. I'm Japanese. And what, bitch? I'm just as Japanese as you. Nah, man, that's an ignorant ass motherfucker way of thinking. Ignorant ass way of thinking. And nobody's falling for it. And thank Christ nobody's falling for that bullshit. So that's my thought about it.
To be the kind of foreigner that is loud, kind of get looked down on by Japanese people, and that reflects on the rest of us, like all foreigners.
You know how in Japan you're always scared to disrupt others, and you have
a lot of people don't like to mention this, but even Japanese people like to rank foreigners as well. And unfortunately, they look at a lot of dark-skinned foreigners. I'm not saying this is good, but they look at a lot of dark-skinned foreigners as, potentially problematic. It's because some of the shit that they've seen and what's going on. Not only that, Japanese people also have eyes, and you see what's going on across the world, especially in Europe. And they're like, yeah, we really don't want that for us. So we're gonna be really keeping an eye on you until you prove us wrong or you prove us right.
to be. Oh, how can I say it? You have to pay attention to other people's needs.
If you just behave like Japanese people, then you'll be accepted. Things like taking off your shoes before you go inside, wearing a mask.
Nobody's gonna accept you just because you're respectful, bro. I mean, who the fuck are you? All they not accepted. They can't respect you and appreciate you coming into their country and saying, okay, this guy's not doing anything stupid. He's buying from us. He's trying to, adjust to our customs and cultures. And yeah, but accept you. Who the fuck are you? We don't have to accept you. Just like people who come here, people come to America, we don't have to accept them. People go to Europe, any country in Europe, we don't have to accept them. People, you go to any country in Africa, they don't have to accept you. Like, who the fuck are you? What you could have is a mutual respect for each other, and be cordial with each other. That's probably the best course of action right there.
Ask if you have a cold. Don't talk loudly on the train. Japanese people accept if you behave just like them, but in fact, you're a guest in the country, so you should behave better.
I heard a lot, there's a lot of Chinese migrants in Japan that do a lot of that shit. They speak so loudly on the phone. Let me know if that's the case.
But when the newcomers aggressively refuse to, that's when the Japanese get angry.
Europe, wake up! Japan, wake up! Deport them all!
With massive demonstrations across the
that guy
country.
was fucking crashing out like crazy. But it sets a precedence, though. That means that eventually, let me see what he has to say. Maybe they'll mention something of what might happen in the future.
And anti-immigration marches
Yep,
featuring the Imperial Rising Sun flag.
Yep, the WW2 flag is now starting to pop up. Now shit's gonna get really bad, because I think I remember seeing a poll done. A lot of young people in Japan do not like the immigration policies that are going on in Japan, and also anti-immigration. They're not, illegal immigration, excuse me. Eventually, it's going to turn into anti-immigration, or just we just don't want immigrants at all in their country. So, and again, that's the young saying this shit. That's not the old people saying that. The young people is typically the inverse. Typically, old people are the ones who don't want immigrants coming into the country, and the young are like the more liberalistic type of people. It's not the case now. So when you have the young saying this shit, you know you have a problem. You know, now you got flags like this starting to pop up. Imagine if Germany had the Nazi flag popping up, and Italy had the fascista flag, or like any other country in Europe starts pulling out the fascist flag, saying, "Nah, no more immigrants." Like piss off and shit like that. Or if we start doing some shit like that because of all the bullshit that's going on, imagine that's when shit's gonna get really bad. You know?
On a YouTube video I don't understand, other than the no immigration in English. And as a Korean, I don't know how I feel about the rising sun flag, but here's the thing. As a
I had no idea he was Korean. I had no idea. And I can see why. If y'all don't know, just Google WW2 what Japan did to Korea.
Korean American citizen, I don't get to speak on what Japan should do to best serve the Japanese citizens. But for some reason, in this state of globalized social media, we repeatedly see foreign countries chiming in on what you need to do in your country while completely refusing the same in their own. As Japanese politicians warn how mass migration
The fucking audacity, bro. The audacity. Hey, bro, I don't live in your country, but you need to start doing this because you make yourself look really stupid and you're going to look all racist. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Mind your business. Don't talk to me about my own country. Shut up. Turn around. Beat it. Just slam the door in their fucking face, man.
could make them the next Europe. Also explaining how anybody
See,
calling
they keep talking
the
about
Japanese
Europe.
racist
That's how bad
for
it
being
is.
against open borders are likely Russian bots. It's almost like everything we're seeing in Western society is coincidentally occurring in every first world Asian country, with the exception of the BRICS nation countries.
The only two first world nation countries in South Korea, I mean, in Asia, it's just Japan and South Korea. That's all there is. I mean, maybe if you want to include Singapore, maybe, but it's mostly just South Korea and Japan.
Oddly inorganic bot forms push for more open borders to avoid population collapse, then conservative movements push back, only to be framed as racist. But at least the Japanese elected a leader, putting preserving their culture over potential population collapse. As yes, Japan, like Korea and even the US, have massive concerns about
Dude, Japan would rather let their whole country or their 4 islands plunge into the sea than to have their population be replaced by non-Japanese people. Oh, look how they treat Koreans and even Northeast Asian, I mean, like Han Chinese, like from Manchuria, who basically both of them share the same genetics, almost identical genetics to Japanese people. They said, nah, fuck that. You're not Japanese. No matter how much you look like us, you're not one of us. They'd rather let their country plunge into the sea, into the Bermuda Triangle, than to let outsiders, even that look like them. Because if you were to tell me that he's Japanese, decoy voice were to tell us that he's Japanese, I would believe him because he's of Northeast Asian descent, you know? And yeah, imagine if they would rather, not exist anymore by not getting replaced by people that look like decoy voice, imagine what they would do with people who don't look like them, who don't have the same skin color, who don't have anything related to them when it comes to race. Imagine. They'd be like, nah, fuck it, just nuke our whole country. We'd rather have it destroyed than have you guys replace us. I'm telling you, the Japanese don't give a fuck about that. It's that kamikaze spirit, bro.
the declining birth rates. But honestly, with AI and advancing technology, I don't see it being as big of an issue as it would have a century ago, as humanoid robots are quickly becoming a reality. With Tesla's Optimus rapidly advancing, even still in its first iteration, is basically able to do everything in the house. As every single argument from mass migration argues who will do the low-wage mundane work while completely ignoring how AI and automation will be taking basically every single entry-level position within maybe a decade.
All right, good video by Decoy Voice, bro. Japan just snapped. Interesting title. I love this, bro. So yeah, let me give that a like. And yeah, bro, they really need to start getting their shit together, bro. I mean, I would love to visit Japan one day, and I don't want to get treated like a I don't want to get treated like a dog when I go there, or be, stared at, thinking, and have them think that, hey, this guy's probably some outsider, or this guy's probably, looking at me strange, like, oh, this guy wants to probably do something. We need to keep an eye on him and shit like that. I don't ever want, to feel that way. I would prefer them to get to know me first before they start judging me. But because of what's going on right now, it might be very difficult. And honestly, I won't be able to blame him. I can't blame him for it. You know, I hope they get their shit together.